Hey, Shalom, first and foremost, all praises, glory, honor goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles, that great millstone that taught us this true citation, Yakim. Pushing this word day in and day out, doing this quick lesson, man. I did it once before. This was from yesterday, December the 10th, 2025. So, everybody done seen this video by now, the Edomite lady. She's my age in her pretty pushing her mid 40s, right? Early 40s, pushing mid 40s. She went off on these Somalian, which could have been Hamites, Because, Ham got a smart ass mouth, man. Like, they got a smart ass mouth and smart ass body language, You do no, that shit irks you quick, right? When you hear that accent. So, she called him some hard R's, him and his wife, a woman, right? And, I'm pretty sure she's fed up with the job anyway. That's why she lashed out on him. And, they recorded it. The Somalian couple recorded it, went viral on the internet. Cinnabon fired this Edomite lady. This Edomite lady proceeds to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in donation. Esau's calling her a hero or shero. Great for standing up against them immigrants. And now, news done came out. She got a so-called black baby, man. She got a so-called mixed baby, all right? It's the baby. More likely is a Judah, Benjamin, or Levite baby, right? Or the Northern tribe baby, right? And so Esau's like, oh, wow, she's a mud shark. She fooled us. Let me get a refund on the GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? And I did a video on this last week when this story originally happened about this Shedomite devil. But now, the chickens came home to roost, man, right? And I believe, because this is an old picture of her son when it looked like he's probably like a toddler, like 3 or 4 in this picture. Maybe back in, because she's my age, right? So maybe like in the 2010s, you know what I'm saying? Late 2000s, 2010s or whatever. So now her son's on the internet saying, yo, she's not racist. He's posting on these different social media programs. She's not racist. That's my mom. But guess what, man? Hey, that's the spirit, because the last video I said, man, this lady's really mad she ain't had BBC in a while. And then it comes out she has a so-called black child, man. That's they call all Yahbashim Yahshua. That's the spirit. I knew she, because one thing about them Edomites, like in the Midwest, the Edomite woman in the Midwest, all over Babylon for real, but particularly like the Midwest, certain parts of the South, they yearn for Jake Rod, man. These Pennsylvania, they love Jake out there, man. Don't get it twisted. All that racist shit and nigga this, nigga that shit, that's just a ploy for, they mad. They lost that one nigga that came that turned their insides out, man. A lot of them are mad, man. That's why most of the Karens, they like older, like the ones that lash out. Of course, you got younger Karens too, but majority of the Karens are older. They like, what they say, done hit the wall. They over the age of 30 something, and they lashing out because, they losing their beauty. You can see when she was younger, she actually looked presentable, but look at her now, man. She's aging like cheese, man, okay? So, they get mad, and then who's the easiest target to lash out on is Jake, man. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, even though these are Somalians in this instance, but, you got some Somalians that are Israelites, right? But the majority, overwhelmingly, overwhelmingly number of them are Hamites, man. And one thing about Esau, he views the Hamites as niggas, man. Same thing with the Shedomite woman, okay? Unless they like very fair skinned Egyptians or whatever, little gypsies. Okay. So she said, "You're a nigger. You're a nigger." You know what I'm saying? This is an Edomite devil right here. Not every fucking white woman Jay get with is an Israelite foreigner. Not every one of them is a swaggy white girl. Not every one of them's Irish, Italian. So because we do have our seeds scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And one thing about Jay, he love that pink flesh, man. He loves seeing that pink Edomite, or even Israelite foreigner woman butt ass naked. That should make Jake Rod work a little better, work a little harder. All right. Because it's something, Jake ain't used to getting all the time. Jake used to getting a nigga woman, even a Latina woman, man. But when they get that Becky, oh man, Jake go crazy. So, clearly, this Edomite woman, she was in some type of relationship, man, with a Jake to have a baby like that. And, showing you she's a devil. She said, I didn't see the original TikTok video, but I'm just going off this IndiaTimes.com, whatever, which is part more than likely AI that wrote this article. It says, moreover, Wilsey, because her name is Crystal Wilsey, also said the boy's darker skin was not due to ethnicity, because she's trying to butter up her image, because, them Edomite, the racist devils, which all them Edomites are racist, but these are like openly racist devils, right? You got your closet. You got two type of Edomite races. You got your open races and your closet races, right? So she's an openly racist Edomite empathizer. When it comes to this post, he says the boy's darker skin was not due to ethnicity, but to a medical condition, right? She told viewers her son had Addison's disease, all right? And he's called chocolate because he had brown skin. Well, look, guess what? She could have had a baby by, let me say this, she could have had a baby by a tear nigga, a chocolate colored tear nigga, man. How about them apples, man? Her son could be a tear. Only the Lord knows, right? So, she's just losing money. She's losing donations because, okay. Yeah, everybody done seen this. So, look at the replies. Esau's calling her a mud shark, a DEI lover. This is her right here. You clearly see she on some type of dope, man. Endangering children, right? Endangering so-called black and brown babies. Yeah, because I saw another. Jake got spirits on him, man. These are all the demonic entities. But I saw another post said that, yeah, I can't support this one. She has mixed kids with black and Hispanic. She's a criminal and crackhead. Couldn't keep her pants on. She has what looks like a brown kid. All right. Yeah, I can't support this one. Fucking mud sharks and shit. So, this is on her Facebook page, man. All right. the hero, right? Because that's what everybody was calling her, the hero. All the Edomites, not everybody, but all the Edomites were calling her a hero, man. Because not only were they, appeared to be so-called black people, but they were immigrants, man. You got a lot of Somali immigrants that then came to Babylon within the past 10 years, man. Okay, so hey, she's a sign of America. Old beat up, worn down, drug abusing, multiple kids with baby daddies, drunken, drugged up, pilled up, fucking cunt, man. Fucking cum dumpster, right? So this is Isaiah 19 and 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt. It's just talking about America. Because America is likened unto a woman, a whore, a harlot, man. Right? To err in every work thereof as a drunken man, staggered in his vomit. So even, in her, monetary come up, she made the most money she made in her life in fucking a week. But that, she erred in it because she ain't cover her tracks, man. Good enough, man. She had a social media You know what I'm saying? But if she never had the social media profile, Esau would have gave her $1 million. Now she'll be stuck at 100K. Oh, what? She has a black baby. Oh no, we cannot send no more money to her cause. So she's gonna spend it on drugs and fucking Pookies and Ray Rays and shit. These thugs. She's gonna buy some thugs. Because that's what women do anyway. Anytime a woman get a lump sum of woman money, whether it's through a divorce, through alimony, child support, what do, man? They spend it not on their children, they spend it on another nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? If they have money they feel like they didn't earn, working for it, especially a lump sum of money like she got, she's gonna spend it on a man. Whoever Edomite man, so-called black man, whatever, right? You're gonna spend it on a man, period, okay? Or a lover, or even another woman, right? Because she's still in that age. She's still a millennial, so she's young enough. She's old, but she's young enough, to, be in that generation that went both ways type shit, all right? That made it common, that made it normal. Which is, my generation and under millennials and under, man, it's a normal thing for a woman to go both ways, one way or the wrong way, however you want to term it. Egypt to err in every work thereof, man. So she's the representation of America, man. If I never seen it. This confusion, man, it is, you calling people hard R's and your children, appear to be hard R's, man. Right? And they said she got locked up for child endangerment. So imagine the shit she's saying at home to children. You fucking monkey. You this. You porch monkey. You that. You fucking this. You fucking that. Okay. So, best believe she giving her kids head. She probably had to beg her kids to say, look, that's my mom. She's not racist. Because she's probably more than likely, it's not all, peaches and cream and glory. She's getting some death threats too, best believe it, man. On whatever social media profile she has, I'm probably sure she had to lock it. Like, if you're not a friend or follower, you can't get access to it. And then plus, it's not hard to get people's phone numbers nowadays on the internet. So she probably, got some text messages. Somebody found her real number. The real number got leaked. She's getting text messages, death threats. Because you still got people, even people that appear to be so-called white people, really Jason, like they ain't with that whole hard R shit. That racial bullying, flexing and shit, man. All right, so as a drunken man staggered in his vomit, and that's how America is. And you clearly see that a woman like that and has some drunken nights, but it's talking about spiritual drunk, man, too, because they everywhere, man. Every doctrine, like a woman like that done had every ride, man. Every in the ethnicity type of ride. Okay. She's a deep ditch, like the scripture says, man. A whore is a deep ditch, man. And like a woman like that, Proverbs 23 and 27, for a harlot is a deep ditch, man. A whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. She's a deep ditch, man. She done laid down with niggas, tears, white supremacists. A lot of these women, man, they come out like that because, the guy they dealing with, is a hardcore extremist racist, man. Which all races mean is for your race, man. Just like you're a pianist, you play the piano, you don't deal with no other instruments. All races mean for your race. So ain't nothing wrong with being, contrary to the society belief, ain't nothing wrong, or to the mainstream narrative, ain't nothing wrong with being a racist. Because really the people that run this society, even including the elites and the lesser lumen, they're all racist, man. But, they want to make it as a crime to, taboo. You really supposed to be amongst your people. Only the Lord ain't with all that Tower Babel, people mixing, intermingling shit, man. Like you go to these liberal cities like DC. I mean, really all these major cities. You see a crew of people walking down the street. It'd be a Jake, a nigga, then a Moabite woman, then a Edomite woman, then a fucking Elamite. Man, they like a whole crew of friends just walking together down the street. That's all, man. Right? Look like a whole UN, a whole UN meeting just walking down a block together, man. Every different race, every different, you know what I'm saying? All different types of doctrines, beliefs, and backgrounds. They just walking down the street willy-nilly all together, man. Especially, club night, bar night. That's a common thing here in Bible, especially in these blue cities, blue states, or whatever. And she's in Minnesota, some shit. Whoa, Wisconsin, yeah, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Oh yeah, them Edomite women fucking with niggas over there, man. So it don't surprise me she got a black baby, man. So-called black baby, or I say a brown baby. That sounds way better. It don't surprise me she has a brown baby, a melanated baby. Because one thing I noticed in these Edomite towns, man, the more racist the town is towards Jake, the more the woman fuck with Jake. Because a woman in her nature is naturally rebellious, man. You know what I'm saying? Or especially, they didn't. And then the main reason the Edomite woman get with Jake, man, of course, it's the end thing, the cool thing nowadays, but it's to piss their dad off because their dad ain't do something they wanted them to do. Buying that new car, buying that new house, So they do it to piss their dad off, because they know their dad ain't with that shit. Why don't you get with Chad or Jimmy or Case? Why don't you get with Case? He's a nice guy. So I'm gonna get spoilers. I think that's Isaiah 33 and 1. Now, let me check. Salaki, I know I'm close. Yeah, Isaiah 33 and 1, that's the spirit. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, man. So, it's in Esau's nature to spoil the Edomite man, woman, and children. Now they know they probably for like the past, what was the 70s, like 50 years ago? Or like the past 50 years, Esau ain't been like, hosing niggas down. He ain't been an extreme race because, the justice system changed, right? Really, ultimately, it's the Lord, but the justice system, in the carnal sense, in the physical sense, it done changed, right? Like Esau could get locked out for going too hard on niggas, right? So since the 70s until now, Esau ain't been, macho towards you niggas, man. Right? So he was spoiling, all the way up to the Greco-Roman Empire, I mean, even before, all the way up from the garden and Cain and Abel, all the way until like the 70s, right? Till, Abba Bivens came on the scene, and then, hey man, Esau lost that macho, right? It says, and that was not spoiled. So Jake ain't even get his lick back, man. All this time. And dealers treacherously, yeah, Esau deals treacherously, all levels, man. You gotta pay car insurance, this bill, that gas, light here, this light is free from the sun. You gotta pay a light bill. And they dealt not treacherously with D. Yeah, Jake ain't billing Esau nothing, man. They not, taxing and interest rates and putting programs on our people and shit, man, locking them up, penitentiary system, man, with Michael Jordan shit. And Jake ain't doing that shit to Esau. They doing it to each other. Michael Jordan, he's a nigga, but he's got jails built for niggas, man, Most lot of your billionaires, Magic Johnson. I want you to be surprised Magic Johnson got a jail. Yeah, niggas that own jails out here, man. They trashes with each other, but they ain't got that shit ain't built for Esau. Everyday Edomite, man. Of course, you got, your Aryan nation, Edomite devils, or even Israelite foreigner niggas, man. The bugged out niggas, man. They in the Aryan nation when they go to jail and shit, man. But it's rare they're a very small part of the prison population, man. Okay. Like, I remember when I was locked up for 3 days, I was only in the holding cell, the little county, like holding cell. It's like the biggest one in the county though. Before they built the new one. What the fuck happened? Yeah, it was just niggas and Latinos in there, man. It wasn't no Edomites. Like, it was a few white men. Like, let's say if it was like in my cell block, let's say it was like, I'm just going to throw a number out there. Let's say it was like 30 of us, 20 to 30 of us in the cell block, right? That seemed about right. It's probably like I'll put it this way. It's probably like 15 niggas, 11 Latinos, and like maybe like 3 to 5 so-called white men. That's how the numbers look like, man. Maybe like one weird shit, like one Elamite, one Oriental. You know what I'm saying? But it was majority of our people in the jail system. Why? Because they dealt treacherously with what the unrighteous decrees, man. All right. And thou shalt cease to spoil. It's one of my favorite scriptures. And thou shalt cease to spoil, right? And that's how it's been for like the past 50 years. But now, this is the climax of the movie we enter into. Lord willing, out of one Ratazah. 2026 is it, man? Because this shit it's becoming burdensome being here. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. The Lord said He don't give us nothing that we can't handle, right? But hey, it's starting to become like, man, I can't handle this shit no more, Lord. Like, do something, Baba Kashah, right? That's how it's starting to get to, man. Like, fuck, I don't know how much more of this I could take. Being in this captivity, man. Do something, Baba Kashah. Shut this shit down again. I don't want to write this out, man. Just shut it down. Lord. Bring another 2020. Like, why, the men of the Lord, the real men of the Lord is suffering. But the wicked are prospering, man, all this time, man. Okay. Even the wicked amongst our people, man. Okay. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. So, and we in a time, man. Scripture says, who shall rise them up, man? In Genesis, the 49th chapter. Who shall rise up, Jake, man? It's going to be the Lord, man. He's going to put the spirit in these niggas. Because just like now, He's putting the spirit of deep slumber upon these niggas. But real soon, it's going to be the spirit of war, fighting for these niggas, man. Because they're getting ready to lose it all. Like Gerald Salente said, I was meditating on this morning. When people lose it, they lose it all, man. They lose their marbles, you know what I'm saying? They lose their wits. You know, they lose their scruples. They're just gonna be totally out there real soon. Right? Like, I mean, I gotta take a deep breaths in this society, like to maintain my spirit, my composure, man. Cause you like shit. How long, Lord? Like, it's 2020 was 6 years ago at this point, man. Almost 6 years ago, Lord. So bring something, God damn. But it ain't going to tarry no more soon. Scripture says, though it tarry, wait for it. I know I'm going off subject with this racist Edomite devil, but she's the spirit of all the Edomites. That's how they all feel, man. I don't give. That's an Edomite. It's not no Israelite. Boy, that's a fucking Edomite. One thing about Israelite forms, let's say they don't like black people, they'll be more like composed with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here, you bitch ass nigga. They'll say bitch ass nigga. They'll say nigga. They ain't gonna say nigger. You're a nigger. They gonna say you're a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is just backwards, man. This whole society's ass back. And it says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end of deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So, yeah, when you bring out these, what they call them shits, man, UBI programs, which that's like right around the corner. They just, of course, ultimately the Lord is controlling when that shit'll drop. But really, I seen some basically Esau's like they gotta give people a new identity. You know what I'm saying? Like even the Cinnabon worker, like if she didn't get paid, which GoFundMe could reverse her money. We'll see. But if she didn't get paid, she'd be on UBI. Like I mean, even then she'll still be on UBI. Because 100 grand is not a lot of money. And like you can spend that easily in like a year or two. Like get a car, boom, that's 50,000 now. You got a new car. You put a down payment on a house, that's like another 20,000. So you left with 30. And then she's want to pay like the bill collector and whatever, right? Whatever she owe, right? I'm pretty sure she owes somebody some lawyer fees, some, you know, financial credit fees, whatever. Boom, she's down to 10K. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a lot of money, 100 grand. So, yeah, I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah, so yeah, Jake's getting ready to deal treacherously. Oh yeah, I was saying, yeah, that's a Edomite woman. That's a Shedomite devil. So I want to hear, yeah, your dad was Italian. That's a fucking devil. So what? She's still up there. You got Edomites amongst them Irish and Italians. Guess what? Trump is Irish. He said he had some Irish in him, man. He's the devil of all devils, man. Red man. So Nero, right? Captain Nero. Emperor of Rome. That's him back, man. He said he was coming back, like Apostle Tahar said. He prophesied him coming back, man. Because I think he said he was coming back as Nero, man. As a fierce dictator, man. He said, hey, I'll be back. Don't think this is my last hurrah. Esau talk. Don't think this is my last hurrah. I'll be back. I'll be back to wet my sword, man. So I won't be surprised if part of his rituals, Trump killed something every day. He killed niggas every day. Or sacrifice them to Baal. He just bring them right into the. I'm pretty sure there's I'm speculating, but it makes sense though. I'm pretty sure it's a room in the White House where they do all their blood sacrifice rituals. Kill them babies that Keisha lived behind, them nigga babies. Animals and shit get sacrificed there. People, men, women, children. They showed you that in the movie, The Purge in DC. I forget the name of that July 4th Purge. I forget the name of that shit, but they was about to sacrifice them niggas, man. Right with the president and shit, somewhere in White House or Capitol building, they was about to sacrifice that nigga, man. But he was able to break free of that shit, right? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, man. DC is a very demonic city, very dark city, man. You know, like you go into DC, like let's say you're in Maryland or Virginia, it'd be like 5 degrees cooler. It'd be so many demons in DC. It'd be like 5 degrees. I used to see this shit all the time because I used to work in DC. So it'll be like 5 degrees cooler. And as soon as you enter into DC, like as soon as you cross that border from Maryland, because I always come from the Maryland side most of the time. So you go from the Maryland side, you jump to DC, and the temperature get like 5, 7 degrees warmer. It's like out of nowhere, man. It always happens, man. That's one thing I know. Like at least in my vehicle, man, you know. But hey, man, niggas about to do atrocity though. You had a game called The Division, man. Like DC was overran. DC was just it wiped out, like demolished. I mean, the missiles ain't even hitting. DC was still destroyed. It was still martial law overran. All right, which that could very well play out in real life. You know, DC just getting overran before the missiles hit. You know, that's why you got laws, you know, in place for continuity of government. You know, government being moved to another state, another city. You know, everybody thinks it's Colorado, but they probably got something else. You know, with the New World Order, you know, DC represents the old world, man. You know, you about to have a new world order, and you know, you saw was about to enjoy it for a brief second, but you know, in the new world order, you know, it makes sense for them to have a new nation's capital, man, somewhere else. All right, you know, you got underground cities and bunkers and shit. All right, especially with AI and shit. Now you got AI in the play. All right, which they showed you that in the Terminator movie. That's how you know you're at the end. You got AI in the play, and the Terminator was all about AI. Like I'll be honest, me as a child, I didn't understand AI. You know what I'm saying? Like in Terminator, I just thought they were just regular bots and shit. But now you understand. Okay, yeah, it's AI. That whole movie, what they call it, shit, Darknet or some shit like that. Spynet, some shit. You know, it's all about AI, man. So, hey, man, Esau, he's trying to make an end of deal tragically. He's showing Jake. Jake jumped on the AI wave. We got Jake making money off AI. To me, it's like confusing to find out, man. Like you really need someone to guide you, because AI only gonna tell you something. Maybe in the first, maybe like the first when AI first came out, like 2023. You was able to put in certain prompts and it'll tell you exactly, okay, this is how you make your money using me. Now you got to know the exact prompt to get AI going to tell you how to make money. But back then, I'm pretty sure it was like, you just ask AI, okay, yeah, back in 2020, like 2 years ago and shit. Yeah, give me a business model, step A through Z to make money, man. Like today, and that shit work. But now, like, they just only gonna tell you some generic shit from YouTube or whatever, man. Reddit. But hey, that's Esau's making an end of deal treacherously, man. With our people, man. But then, the Lord's gonna allow Jake to, swing back. Cause, hey, like we said it all the time, man. These niggas ain't gonna do nothing until Esau get the first lick. Esau's gonna get the first wave of life. Whatever. How many thousands of niggas, man. And then you niggas gonna swing back, man. All right. The Lord's gonna put the spirit in you niggas to fight. Even 2/3, right? But the elect's gonna be okay. We ain't gotta worry about. We gonna be laughing at this shit. Like Apostle Hall said. I've been said this, man. He said Jacob's trouble's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun, man. You're a kid, you running from the cops, you laughing and shit, man. It's gonna be fun, man. That's how I picture it, man. You know, so you got people fucking, guys that call themselves Israelites scared of Jacob's trouble, talking about they're gonna be in a FEMA camp. They're gonna be in. Look, man, what the fuck you in this for, man? The Lord said that destruction and famine, we won't laugh, all right? So unless you feeling convicted in the spirit, man, amen. Let the Lord play this shit out, man. You better off keep it a buck, man. Jake better off in the FEMA camp in the end days than going to working for this double 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? You're in a better position in the FEMA camp than getting tortured and working your 9 to 5, because at least you got the kingdom to look forward to, man. As a newborn baby, man. Okay, instead of this fucking rat race, this lobster race and shit, man. This demonic ass race, but that gets you nowhere. But in more debt, more responsibilities, more, You can't even, the most natural thing on earth, you can't even ejaculate in a woman. Because you're going to get Esau involved in your household affairs and, child support and, custody, what they call that shit, family court. So that's all the treacherous things this devil done did, man. All right. Let me get the heel, man. I think that's in Hosea. This is a good one. Let me get this last piece there. This is Genesis 25. 25. Oh, actually 24. And when her days are to be filled. Behold, there were 2 twins in a room, Jacob and Esau. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, a so-called white man. And they named his name Esau, man. So Esau, like, he's not how he looks today. Like, he used to be very hairy. They hairy today, but they be doing all types of waxing, laser treatment, shit like that. So, they don't look like Wolfman, And they named his name Esau. And after that came his brother Jacob, and his hand took hold of Esau's head, which was spiritual, man. He's like, come here, man. I'm not done with you. Jacob basically said, I'm not done with you, bitch. His name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 70 when she bathed them. I believe 70 goes into, I forgot what the score is, Lucky. And the boys grew, and Esau, so-called white man, and woman, man, because a white woman, she's always outside, man. That's why Eve learned that shit. Really, Eve, and her spirit was to be in the tent. She wasn't outside like how she is today, man. She learned that from the so-called white man and woman. A man of the field, right? Esau's always out, wrestling animals and doing weird shit. It's being a demon. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Jacob, most of the time, most Jakes, we homebodies, man. Like, now Eve's forced to be a homebody because the economy fucked up, right? She ain't making money like she used to, and all her money goes to bills. She can't go on as many trips. It says Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, man. So, being a plain man, Jake liked to chill, play cards, play dominoes, play video games, watch movies. Every Jake got their spirit, whatever, what they like to do. Play blackjack. Most sports Jake played, they like indoors, man, or could be considered an indoor sport, like soccer. You got like a lot of indoor soccer little venues and shit. Football, baseball. You got a lot of domes and shit. They call it the dome. Arenas, basketball, that's inside. Jake like to be inside and shit. Feel safe, man. And Isaac loved Esau because he did not eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. That's the spirit, because most so-called Negros, Latinos, Native Americans, they mama's boys. And you look at Esau, he's all about his dad, man. He's a daddy's boy, but that's the spirit, because Isaac is Yahweh Shai, man. So the Lord brought Esau in this world through the spirit, right? And he's going to take him out, man. So Esau, he's all about his father, but it's a facade, because if his father doesn't do what, Esau, spoiled brat, wants him to do, right, then he's going to try to kill his father, man, or replace his father. And that's what he did, man, putting Yahweh Shai on the cross, man. Okay. Who the world isn't he called? Jesus Christ. Okay. So, it's just a video, man, showing that these race riots are coming soon, man, So real soon ain't gonna be no social media to resolve this or hear this. So it's just gonna be at your doorstep, man, or you. And best believe, man, you got weirdo jakes out here, man. All you Edomites posting your racist comments. We was kings, and fucking Planet of the Apes, all that shit. You got jakes documenting, which they ain't gotta physically do it no more. They can use AI to do it, but they screenshot and they documenting your social media profile page. Just for that day, man. When society collapses, they just gonna come and visit you and offer you, man. Cause they finding out, oh shit, a lot of these people that's posting this racist commentary, they right in my backyard, man. All right, so hey, man, the Lord is getting ready to raise havoc on this place, man. So this video went a little bit longer than I expected, but that's how the spirit be sometimes, man. But I was catching hell, so this is our only avenue, outlet to vent, man. And this is a righteous vent. Okay. So I'm gonna end it there till next time. Shalom.